Can you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. Damn. Thanks for the notice. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks. Wow. All right. Hey, thanks for the heads up. Okay, everybody can hear me? Can I get a sound check? Mark, you can hear me? There you go. Okay, now we're in. All right. Now we good. Apologize for that. Now we can apologize for that. Okay, so I'm going to start out. Welcome to my podcast. Yes, 60 frames, no lag. Oh man, I love my followers, man. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate it. Uh, that's better. I thought I hadn't started yet. I appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome, man. I love you. I'm never gonna forget you guys. I'm always gonna remember you guys, man. You guys being right from the start. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you for joining on the 60 Frames No Lag podcast. You know this sound. The Inception sound is what I like to call it. All right. Hopefully I can have some guests show up. I haven't got no messages yet, but hey, I just want to, talk about something that's recent. All right. Today's podcast is Return of the Nation. Can Sony slow down the momentum Microsoft built over the last couple of weeks? We saw what Microsoft done with the Xbox One S. Very good reception, selling out everywhere. Nice looking console, very beautiful looking console. And then on top of that, they did a 250 price drop, which ultimately helped make Xbox One S the number one selling console in North America. Now I know everybody brings out 3DS, but to me that's a handheld, separate market. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about consoles here. So Microsoft's on a roll. I think we all could see that. Very good momentum, very good business. Is looking good for Microsoft. Xbox on the up and up. Now all of a sudden, Sony announces the PlayStation event out of the blue. And I'll be honest, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think Sony was going to do another individual event because normally they have the one in December, the PlayStation Experience. So this is a pretty big deal. So with that announcement, September 7th, 3 p.m. Eastern at the PlayStation Theater, New York. Man, I really wish I was in New York at that time. Everybody thought, hey, it's going to be the Neo, which is still reasonably assuming that that's what it's going to do. But over the last 24 hours, we've seen leaks of the PlayStation 4 Slim. And there was talks about a PlayStation 4 Slim, but for the most part, it was something that, it was kind of like a rumor, it was like a rumor, probably most likely not likely. Because when you think about it, Sony researching design of PlayStation 4 Slim, PlayStation VR, and PlayStation Neo. Woo, that's a lot of money that Sony's investing on top of other things they're doing. The Call of Duty deal, the Star Wars deal, the marketing, IPs, the Spider-Man licensing. So for a company that's broke, they must be, they're about to owe a lot of IOUs all around. But anyway, so over the last 24 hours, you saw the leaks of, that's right, Suarez. It would be a dream to be there at the PlayStation Theater. I feel you. I would love to be there, man. Why September, right? But it is what it is. But over the last 24 hours, we saw leaks of the PlayStation 4 Slim. And then right now, it's the number one trending hashtag right now on Twitter. So if those leaks weren't true, I think Sony would have, tweeted something by now, but they haven't. So I think those leaks are legit. They showed pics of just the Slim on its own, and now they have pics of somebody showing the Slim with the PlayStation Vanilla, but the white model. Now, if you look at that pic, what's interesting, the white model compared to the Slim, it looks pretty big, but we all know if you've seen the PlayStation 4, it's really not a big console. It's a pretty well-designed compact console. So seeing the Slim next to it, and the Vanilla looks kind of big next to it, you could reasonably assume that this new PS4 Slim model is a pretty nice small design. Now, on other podcasts, primarily like the multiplayer podcast that I'm on with Next Gen, shout out to Zaire. He asked me one time, what can Sony do to slow down Xbox One S momentum? I said if I was Sony and I were to release a Slim, I would not include 4K or HDR. Anything that has to deal with 4K TVs, I wouldn't. The whole purpose of a Slim is just to take the console that's popular, shrink it so you can make it more affordable, so that way you can get into more gamers' hands. I always said that every generation, no matter what console is out there, there's a certain point where the budget gamers take over. After maybe 2 years or just before 3 years, all the gamers that's willing to play launch price or $50, like 400 or 350, those gamers are gone already. Now it's to the point where if you're going to continue selling these consoles, you have to hit 300 or sub 300. Okay, that's where it's at. Okay, so now think about this. I know a lot of people are like 4K is big deal. 4K is a growing movement. It is not a grown movement. I want you guys to understand the difference. Growing means this is the start. It's going to get bigger, and it's eventually it's going to overtake and be the standard. But until you get to that point, you are growing, which means the majority of gamers are 1080p gamers who are still with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. So now you figure you launch a PlayStation 4 Slim for $249, right? And that's, let's say they launch it late September or October. When Black Friday comes or the holiday sales around Thanksgiving and Christmas, they'll do like a temporary, $50 sale, holiday sale. So you could potentially see around Black Friday, that holiday around Thanksgiving in the US. I'm not sure how it is overseas. I don't know if it's similar for you guys out in England and Europe. And then definitely Christmas, though, you could potentially see a $199 PlayStation 4. That is an amazing Christmas gift that you can give your nephew, your son, who just wants to start gaming on a current gen platform. An amazing Christmas gift for people who haven't jumped on. All right. So let's say you got your nephew, your son, your daughter, nieces, grandchildren, whatever. You buy a $199 PlayStation 4. Chances are they're not gonna go from playing a PS3 to where's my 4K Blu-ray player. The majority of the market are most likely going to be those gamers, those consumers who still are happy with their 1080p sets. Some of them bought them last year, the year before, and they are perfectly happy. Now they're just trying to get on board with the current generation of consoles. All right, sure, you're still going to have the 4K crowd, and this is where to me the Neo comes in. The Neo will have the 4K Blu-ray player, the HDR gaming, and upscale. I don't think Neo's going to do native 4K. If you look at episode 3 of my podcast, I already called out that we're not going to see native 4K, not without some serious downgrades, at least in my opinion. I think it's going to be mostly some type of up-res that we're going to get. I don't believe these manufacturers are going to finally deliver on the resolution promise when they already lied to us and failed twice already. Both Sony and Microsoft failed with the PS3 360, and they both failed with the Xbox One and the PS4. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm gonna load that chopper, and I'm just gonna go rain hell. So I'm gonna just play it by ear. But with the PlayStation Neo, 4K Blu-ray player, HDR gaming, upscale to 4K. So if you're interested in a 4K TV, then I don't think you're gonna cheap out on a $199 or $250 PlayStation 4 console. I think you're gonna go for the 4K experience. So I could see that consumer doing that. But everybody else who just want to walk into Best Buy, GameStop, or Walmart, or whatever it is your most popular store, they're just going to go in, see a $250 console or a $199 console, grab it, and go home, wrap it up, give it away as a gift or as a gift for yourself, and just play games. Now it's time to put away that old console that you have for the last 4, 5, 6 years. And I think that's what's mostly going to happen. Of course, I still think Xbox One S is going to be a very popular console. I think that's also going to provide people who are buying 4K TVs. They're going to choose between the Xbox One S and the Neo. Now, some people say, well, obviously they're going to choose the Neo because it's more powerful. Well, not necessarily, because you could buy an Xbox One S, still get that 4K experience upscale, and then invest in the ecosystem. If you know you like the Xbox ecosystem, you'll invest in the ecosystem. And some people say, oh, are they going to buy a Scorpio next year? Not necessarily. You don't have to buy the Scorpio the year that it launches. You can enjoy your Xbox One S and enjoy it for 2-3 years. And now when you're ready to invest in an upgraded, more powerful experience, then you could buy the Scorpio. So you could buy a Scorpio in 2020, but everything you invested on the Xbox One S will carry over. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I think people will still buy the Xbox One S over the Neo simply because of the ecosystem. It's kind of like me with iPhone. Samsung has this beautiful looking Galaxy phone that's like the Batman one, and I'm a big Batman fanboy, right? I don't know if you've seen the trailers. Look up, Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy Batman, or what's that game called? Injustice brand, and it's real nice. It comes a pack, and it has like this, has a cover that looks like Batman. It's really nice phone. And it is a really beautiful looking phone. But I'm invested in the iPhone ecosystem. I have all my money, all my apps, everything I purchase is in that ecosystem. I'm not going to transition to another ecosystem where I have to start all over. You know what I mean? So I think that's where Xbox One S event is going to come into play. When people invest in the Xbox One ecosystem, they don't have to buy a Scorpio the following year. They just enjoy the Xbox One S. And then when they're ready to upgrade, boom, they buy the Xbox One S. And if you wait, think about it. Let's say the Xbox Scorpio launches at $600. People could be like, you know what? I'm gonna still chill with my Xbox One S, enjoy it for a little while, play it for a little while. I still got my Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray experience. The upscale looks nice. I'll just keep it going. And then like in 2019, 2020, the Scorpio could be $400, you know, maybe $200 price drop over that 3-year period. Boom. Now you could buy a Scorpio for $400. And everything that you've done on the Xbox One S transfers over to Xbox One Scorpio. And then you just get that huge Scorpio experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting how everything's going on. Mark Pro 4K doesn't interest me, to be honest. I'm happy with 1080p. I'm happy too with 1080p. You know what I'm saying? I know some people ask me, am I going to get the Neo? Probably not. And the only reason why I probably won't get the Neo is because the games. There's a lot of games I want to play. So I'm already pushing $500 worth of games this holiday season. So imagine $500 worth of games, and then I pay $499. Let's say if it's $500, that's $1,000 in just gaming in a short window. And me personally, with Christmas going on and buying gifts for my family, and I plan to go to New York and stay out in New York for a little while, I can't see me investing that much money into myself, into my hobby. You know, I'm already doing, enough just buying games, So buying a new console, I'm really not in tune to that. Good for all the other people that are able to do it. That's awesome. If you guys are excited getting new hardware, enjoy it. God bless you, and that's great. Just for me, I'm already going to put more than enough money into just content. And the way I feel, it just feels strange that if I did buy this upgraded console, like I bought an upgraded console and I have yet to play a new Grand Theft Auto or Mass Effect or even God of War or these other games. You know what I mean? So it just feels weird that I'm already replacing my console, yet I still haven't gotten the most of what I just bought. You know what I mean? So it just feels weird. But anyway, I know this is going to make a lot of people happy. There are PlayStation gamers that want this upgraded experience. What I think you're going to get out of the Neo, I think you're going to get 1080p 60 frames with higher settings. That's just my opinion. You're not going to get the 4K native experience. If it does 4K, it's going to be upscaled. That's what it is. So I think that the expectation of anyone trying to get a Neo, that expectation should be mostly getting the 1080p 60 frame experience, but with ultra settings. You know what I'm saying? High settings or ultra settings. So you'll get a much better graphics fidelity as compared to the PlayStation 4. I will not bank on a 4K native experience. Not even. I think if it does anything 4K, it's going to be upscaled. That's just my opinion. But you also get the 4K Blu-ray player in HDR gaming, so you'll get that. So you'll get probably the best 1080p 60 frame experience, HDR gaming and 4K Blu-ray player for those movie entertainment if you're interested. For those with the Slim, people are thinking, so what's the deal with the Slim? It's just simple. It's a PlayStation 4. It's nothing more, no less. Nothing more, nothing less than what we have now, except it's smaller and cheaper. So now more people can afford it. That's really the idea of the Slim. Make it affordable. There are people who, right now, the PlayStation 4 is still at $350, and I think it could be sold for $300, but I think Sony hasn't dropped the price to $300 simply because they didn't have to. The PlayStation is still selling well globally, so you're not going to drop the price when the momentum is still good. But now that the momentum shifted to 360, the momentum shifted to Xbox One, I think Sony's taking notice, and now they're going to implement this next phase. Mark Willing, no optical though. Yeah, that is strange. I know more and more of the newer receivers are going away with optical because HDMI is better for surround sound, but there's still a lot of people with receivers and surround sound systems that has optical, and that's what they use. Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. How the reaction is that I think they should have kept the optical though, and it's because of that. The optical is one of the main things. No 4K Blu-ray player, right? No HDR. The boxes and the leaks didn't show anything that has to do with HDR, right? Which usually means that if there's no HDR, it's because they kept the same HDMI connector, which is 1.4 vice 2.0. So they kept the same HDMI connector. It looks like they didn't add any more USB ports, so it's still just a two-port system, right? If you look at it, you see buttons now, so it doesn't have that the sleek buttons that we have now on the PlayStation 4. So if you look at the image, it looks like regular buttons on top or like in the middle of that little tray or whatever. So everything looks simpler, and then also no longer shiny gloss image is all 100% matte. No removable covers, so I don't think customizations is possible, at least from the pics. So they made it really dumbed down, really simple, and they took out the optical out, which means less components. Even though I don't think optical is that much expensive, but if they're willing to remove it, I think they're going as far as possibly they can to make this the cheapest developed console they can. That's how far they're going, right down to removing the optical port. And still no external. I completely agree. I would say that's probably this credit. You gotta give credit where credit is due, and I always said that is the best feature on the Xbox One platform. It is external support. I always said that. And I'll make a quick note why. So I got a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I did that day one. Before I even bought my PlayStation 4, I bought a 1 terabyte hard drive because I knew the 500 gig wasn't going to be enough, and it was on sale for like $30. So I bought a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's faster because the one that comes in the PlayStation is 5600 RPMs. I got the 7200 RPM one, so it's faster and more space. Okay, so I slap it in and I started gaming, and now I have my old collection, and now I got about 800 gigabytes used. And actually, there was one point I reached my limit, so I had to delete a lot of games, right? So I was thinking, all right, so I'm gonna just upgrade and get another hard drive, right? But then I thought to myself, let's say if I buy a 4 terabyte internal hard drive right now, right? Right off the bat, 1 gig is already used because I'm transferring data over one hard drive to another, right? That means the new hard drive, really, I'm only buying it for 3 gigs of space, right? And what do I do with this 1 terabyte that I pulled out? What do I do with it? You know how many standalone hard drives I got? I don't need another standalone 1 terabyte hard drive. So it's a waste of money. There's a point where I'm wasting money now on hard drives. While if I would have gotten external support, I could buy a 4 gig external and just plug it in, and I got all 4 usable gigs. You know what I mean? Meaning the 1 terabyte data is still on my internal hard drive, and I got an external that I'm able to use all 4 gigs. You know? So that's my feeling about the external. That's why I think it's a great idea, and I wish Sony would adopt that. Now back to the point of price, lack of optical. It's clear that they're trying to make this console the cheapest as it can. So in my opinion, I think they might announce $249 as the retail price for the PlayStation Slim. Okay, so now what does that mean? So why not $299? Well, they could announce $299, but they put themselves in a position. Because if this PlayStation 4 Slim is $299, you put it next to the shelf with a $299 Xbox One S, the Xbox One S has more value. Because they're both the same price. They both have 500 gigs, but the Xbox One S has a 4K Blu-ray player and HDR. So even if you don't have a 4K TV, you're not spending any extra money going for the Xbox One S. You could just buy it, and then maybe one day, if you ever do decide to get a 4K TV, you already have the console that could take advantage of it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and you're doing it without spending extra money. So that's why I don't think a $299 Slim is the right route because of the value. Now, if you release at $249, now you put this on the shelf. PlayStation 4 Slim at $249, Xbox One S at $299. People are going to see, all right, is it worth the $50 to buy a 4K Blu-ray player, have a capable 4K Blu-ray player where you don't have the TV? That $50, especially during the holidays, can mean a big difference because remember, the holidays is not just about what you want, it's what you're also doing for other people. You're buying gifts for other people, or you're going away on a trip to visit family, or you're spending money on a big Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. There's a whole lot of stuff where that $50 could go. I mean, even if it's like, hey, you buy a $250 PlayStation 4 Slim, and that $50 you buy 2 used games. So now you're giving your friend, your son, your daughter, nephews, whoever, cousin, a console with 2 games, or you could just buy the console for $299. And then you have to spend another $50 on game. Or let's not forget The subscription to online, that's included too. You know, you buy a $249 PlayStation console with a $50 online 1 year subscription to online for $300. While on the Xbox One S, it's $299 plus maybe $30, $40 for Xbox Live. You see what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of money budgeting going on during the holidays. Everybody's trying to find a budgeting thing. So, and Mark Williams, for people like me looking maybe getting a second system, yeah, it's very appealing. Imagine, Mark, right now you go and Sony has a deal. It's $249, but they have like a Christmas Eve or a Black Friday deal for $199, and it's a PlayStation 4 console for a 3-day period, or this weekend only, PlayStation 4 for $199. That's very easy to get into. That's very cheap to get into. That's not really bad at all. That is a great price just to have a secondary side console. You know what I'm saying? Just to have something on the side, especially as small, as sleeker, and doesn't take up much space. That's a very good secondary console. So many Xbox gamers who had no interest on a PlayStation, now $199, you know what? That's not so bad because you can have it on the side. And when major games like Spider-Man or God of War comes out, or even if you haven't played Uncharted, you could play those games or rent them or whatever. And you did it without breaking the bank, without investing on a full price console. So that's also another good point. So it's really interesting how this is all gonna turn out on that. And then how does Neo play into this? Again, by releasing the PlayStation 4 at $249, the Neo will now look like a premium console. Now, what would I like to see price for the Neo versus what reality is? I would like to see the Neo at $399. I think that's the sweet spot to get that console off the shelves, Not as much as the Slim, because I think the Slim will be the number one selling console compared to the Neo, but I think more people who are looking for a higher upgrade experience, that's a more attractive price. If that console $500, whew, that's a little tough sell now. I think it'll still do good during the holidays, but you got to think after the holidays, January, February, March, April of 2017, that console is not going to sell much in those months. At $500, I just don't see it selling. I think it's going to be in a hurt locker. $399 is a little bit better. Now, with those prices, you could reasonably assume what the Scorpio is going to be. So let's say Sony launches the Neo for $499. Oh man, that means the Scorpio most likely will be at a minimum $600, which is going to be a rough. It's going to be a rough, you could say, premium experience for everybody. It's going to be a rough time because those consoles won't sell that much. I just don't see it selling. I think the Xbox One S and the Slim will be the PS4 and Xbox One Slims will be the primary sellers, while these major consoles are off the shelves. Now, I know some people, they hear that and they think, oh, that's perfectly fine because these premium consoles are premium for experience. You know what I'm saying? It's for the experienced gamers, the high-end gamers. So that's okay. But in reality, console market don't work that way. When Sony and Microsoft make these consoles and put it on the shelf, they have to sell. You just can't leave it on a Best Buy shelf. Best Buy is not going to be willing. GameSpot, Walmart, and all these major retailers, they're just not going to be content with these consoles just sitting on the shelf, and maybe they sell a couple, like one a day or something like that. That's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? These consoles need to come off the shelf just as fast as they get put on, regardless of the price. They just can't stay there. And if Scorpio and Neo stay on the shelf for too long and they don't look attractive, and these major retailers, they don't see, you could say, the success, or how can I put it? If GameStop or Walmart gets this feeling that gamers don't want the Neo or the Scorpio because they're not selling to their projections, they will stop ordering hardware from Sony and Microsoft because there's too many on the shelf in their store. They're not going to keep putting in replenishment orders. You know what I mean? So let's say if you have the Porter Rock store, right? Porter Rock stop. I'm selling all these games and all this stuff, Porter Rock stop. Everybody loves the Porter Rock stop. Xbox gamers, Nintendo gamers, they love my store. Porter Rock stop is the shit, I don't rip off consumers. I don't do none of that crap. None of the bad business practices. So I got PlayStation 4 Slims. I got Xbox One Slims. I got the Scorpio. I got the Neo. But on these shelves, week after week, day upon day, the Neo and the Scorpio, they stay on my shelf. I have to go in and grab a little, Swiffer duster and wipe the dust off because nobody's buying them because they're too expensive. They're not coming off the shelf. But the slim models, oh man, those things are making me money. They're coming off the shelf. I can't stock enough of them. It seems like I have to put in a new order every week for slim models. While the Neos and the Scorpios, they just maybe one guy comes in, and then he buys it. After a while, I'm not gonna go to Sony or Microsoft and be like, hey, send me more Neos and Scorpios. I'm not gonna do that because they're not selling. They're on my store. In fact, they're making me work more because I have to hire more people with Swiffer dusters to wipe off the dust. So I'm spending more money just keeping them clean. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? And what that does is, if that's a trend from store to store to store, where these models, because of their price, they're not selling, then Sony and Microsoft will not do. They will see this plan as a failure. They're going to see this plan as gamers don't want 3 to 4 year consoles because they're not buying it. They're not buying our Scorpio. They're not buying our Neo. So chances are they don't want the experience. They don't want these upgrade experience. What they want is just a new console and then just make it cheaper and sell it, But what they don't realize is it's because maybe console gamers do want, mid-gen refreshes, but you priced it out of their range. You made it $500-$600. That's just not a cool mark. If you keep it at 400, you refresh the console cycle, but don't go above the 400 mark, then I could see that being more successful. But $500-$600, that's a bullet most console gamers are not going to be willing to bite. There are a few who will, but that's just small numbers. Once you get past that group of gamers, like the Zairs, the Mooches, the J Baris, those guys who will buy PlayStation day and date, but they aren't the majority of the market. They're a very small niche market. And once you sold those consoles, to them, who is left to buy a $600 console? Very few people are left. So it's going to give the perception that they sell poorly. Nobody wants them. These major stores will not restock the orders. They're going to keep restocking Slims, but they're not going to keep stocking Scorpios and Neos. So Sony and Microsoft really have to be reasonable on what they're trying to do, with these Neos and stuff, So anyway, that's my point on this podcast. I apologize. I haven't been able to get you a guest today. I'd love to have new guests, for different views or whatever. But I guess it's been a busy week for everybody. I guess everybody's enjoying the last days of summer. I know school starts for some areas next week or tomorrow, actually, on Monday and stuff. Well, anyway, for those who showed up, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to cut this podcast a little bit short, so that way you guys can enjoy your remaining Sunday weekends and stuff like that. But thank you so much for the support. Spread the love and everything. Can't wait till September 7th. Definitely. It's on a Wednesday, so I don't know if I could take off work, but I would love to do a live reaction on that event. I hope they stream it. It'll be interesting, but you're definitely going to see my reactions to that. But definitely, hey, I think for all you guys out there, I hope your game is going good. I hope you're enjoying the consoles that you're enjoying, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation. Just enjoy it. It's a great time. Because at the end of the day, I always said, when you log off for YouTube, when you log off for Twitter, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. It's just your console, you turn it on, and you enjoy what you enjoy. All the things that you see from online and Twitter and people's opinions and negative comments, whether it's coming from the ponies or the Xbox, it doesn't matter because you're not playing with them when you log onto your console. Just enjoy what you like. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting how the rest of the gen turns out with all these new hardware and stuff like that. If you can afford these new hardware, that's awesome. Good on you. That's great. If you can't, or if you know people that haven't jumped on the current gen, hopefully these consoles come out cheaper and they can finally jump on and enjoy great gaming of the current gen, Anyway, I appreciate it. You guys have a great, enjoy the rest of your weekend. For those of you who are about to start your Monday, well, hope you're about to go to work. I know Mark, it's pretty late out there for him. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy the week, and I'll see you next weekend. I'll see you next Sunday. I will make sure I'll be prompt, and hopefully I'll get some more guests up here to do everything. But anyway, 60 frames, no lag podcast. We out. Enjoy, and you know this sound. Yeah, 60 frames, no lag podcast. Thank you for stopping by. Take care. God bless.